Marcus had been calling Kioma for 3 years. Not every day, but enough. Enough to keep her hopping. Enough to keep her waiting. Enough to keep her from moving on. "Hey, beautiful, you busy tonight?" She wasn't, she never was when he called. She'd cancel plans, rearrange her schedule, push aside her own needs, all to be available when he finally decided to reach out. "No, I'm free," she said, trying to sound casual, as if she hadn't been staring at her phone for 2 days waiting for this exact message. "Cool, I'll swing by around 9. "No, I miss you. No, I've been thinking about you. Just logistics, just convenience." But she took it, she always took it. Her friends had stopped asking about him. The questions had shifted from "so when are you two making it official?" to uncomfortable silences when his name came up. They'd seen this pattern too many times, Marcus showing up when it suited him, disappearing when it didn't. "Kioma, her best friend Enkechi had said months ago, you're the woman he keeps, but never chooses, you know that, right?" She'd gotten defensive then, made excuses. "He's just not ready, he's working on himself, he's healing from his ex, he needs time." Time, she'd given him 3 years of it. That night, Marcus arrived at 9:47, almost an hour late, no apology, just that easy smile that used to make her forget everything else. "Sorry, got caught up," he said, already walking past her into the apartment like it was his own. She closed the door behind him, swallowing the words she wanted to say. "You're always caught up, you're always late, I'm always waiting." They fell into the familiar routine, small talk about his day, his job, his goals. She listened, asked questions, encouraged him. When she tried to share about her own life, he'd glance at his phone or change the subject. Around midnight, he stretched and yawned. "I should probably head out, got an early morning." Every time, every single time. He never stayed, never wanted to wake up beside her, never wanted breakfast together or lazy Sunday mornings, just these late-night visits that left her feeling emptier than before he arrived. As she walked him to the door, he kissed her forehead, affectionate but distant, the kind of kiss you give someone you care about but don't love. "I'll hit you up soon," he said. And she knew soon meant whenever he felt like it. A week, 2 weeks, sometimes 3. She closed the door and leaned against it, tears threatening to spill. "God," she whispered, how long do I wait?" Sunday morning, Kioma dragged herself to church. She'd been avoiding it lately, couldn't bear the sermons about purpose and destiny when she felt so purposeless, so stuck. But something made her go that day, something she couldn't explain. The pastor's message hit differently. It was about the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman who'd had 5 husbands and was with a man who wasn't her husband. She kept choosing men who would never choose her, the pastor said. She kept giving herself to relationships that cost her everything but gave her nothing, and she stayed because she thought something was better than nothing. Kioma felt her chest tighten. But then Jesus showed up, and he didn't condemn her. He exposed her pattern, not to shame her but to free her. He showed her that she'd been drinking from broken wells when living water was available all along. Tears streamed down Kioma's face. She wasn't crying quietly, she was sobbing, her whole body shaking. The woman sitting next to her placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Let it out, sister. God is doing something." After service, Kioma sat in her car, unable to drive. Her hands gripped the steering wheel as she finally let herself feel everything she'd been suppressing. "Lord," she cried out, "I've been so foolish. I've been begging a man to choose me when you already chose me. I've been fighting for scraps when you've prepared a feast. Why did I settle for this?" And in that moment, she heard it, not audibly, but clearly in her spirit. "Because you didn't know your worth, but now I'm showing you. Now I'm awakening you." That week, God began showing Kioma things she'd refused to see. She looked back at their 3 years together, really looked, and saw the pattern with painful clarity. Marcus only called when he was lonely, never when he was happy. He'd never introduced her to his family or close friends. He'd never posted her on social media, never acknowledged her publicly. He'd never asked about her dreams, her fears, her relationship with God. He'd never protected her heart, only borrowed it when convenient. He'd never made plans for their future, only lived in the present. He'd never chosen her for forever, only for right now. She'd been an option, a placeholder, the woman he kept on standby while he kept his actual options open. The truth was devastating, but it was also freeing. God, she prayed, show me why I accepted this, show me the root. And he did. She saw her father, emotionally distant, never affirming, always withholding approval. She saw herself as a little girl, desperate for his attention, settling for crumbs of affection. She saw her first heartbreak, the boy who promised forever then left her for someone else. The wound she'd never healed, just covered up. She saw her fear, the belief that this was the best she could get, that being chosen conditionally was better than not being chosen at all. I've been repeating the same story, she whispered. Different men, same pattern. Lord, break this cycle, please. 2 weeks later, Marcus texted, "You around tonight?" For the first time in 3 years, Kioma stared at the message and felt nothing. No excitement, no relief, just a quiet clarity. She typed, "We need to talk." About what? Everything good? No, Marcus, everything is not good. We need to have a real conversation. He showed up the next day, confused and slightly annoyed. What's this about? They sat across from each other, not beside each other, not touching. The distance was intentional. Marcus, what are we doing? She asked. What do you mean? I mean, what is this? What are we? He shifted uncomfortably. We're cool, we're vibing. For 3 years we've been vibing. Do you love me? The question hung in the air. He looked away. Kioma, come on, don't do this. We've got a good thing going. Good for who? Her voice was calm but firm. Good for you, maybe. You get companionship without commitment, intimacy without investment, someone who's always available but never demanding. That's not fair. Where is this going, Marcus? She interrupted. Be honest. Are you building toward forever with me, or are you just comfortable with right now? He couldn't answer. His silence said everything. I need you to go, she said quietly. Kioma, wait. No, I've waited long enough. 3 years, Marcus. 3 years of being your secret, your option, your convenience. I'm done. You're overreacting. You knew what this was. No, she stood up, her voice stronger now. You knew what this was. I was hoping it would become something more. I was waiting for you to choose me, but you never were going to, were you? His silence confirmed it. I'm not angry at you, she continued, tears now flowing freely. I'm angry at myself for accepting less than I deserve. For 3 years I made you my priority while I was your option. That ends today. So that's it, you're just ending this. You ended this a long time ago, Marcus. You just kept me around while you figured out what you really wanted. I'm just finally accepting what I've always known. I'm not it. He left without another word. No fight, no protest, no declaration of love. Because there was no love to declare. The first month was the hardest. She'd reach for her phone 100 times a day, muscle memory making her check for his texts. Her apartment felt too quiet. Her bed felt too empty. Marcus tried to come back twice, first with apologies. I miss you, can we talk? She didn't respond. Then with promises, I'm ready now, I want to make this work. She blocked his number. Lord, she prayed through tears, I know I did the right thing, so why does it hurt so much? Because you're detoxing, the still small voice whispered. You were addicted to breadcrumbs. Now I'm teaching you to hunger for the full meal I've prepared. She dove into her Bible like never before. She read about the Israelites in the wilderness, how God had to break their slave mentality before bringing them to the promised land. She read about Ruth, who was faithful in the season of waiting and was rewarded with bows, a man who publicly claimed her, protected her, and chose her without hesitation. She read Psalm 139, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. God, she whispered, teach me to see myself the way you see me. Months passed. Kioma stopped waiting for someone to choose her and started choosing herself. She went back to school to finish her degree. She started the blog she'd been putting off. She deepened her friendships, invested in her spiritual growth, served in her church. She stopped scrolling through social media looking at couple photos with envy. She stopped feeling panicked about being single. She stopped believing the lie that she was running out of time. One evening, Enkechi called her. Kai, I have to tell you, you're different. I mean it. You're glowing. What happened? Kioma smiled. I stopped looking for a man to complete me. I let God heal the broken places. I stopped being the woman men keep and became the woman God chose. That's deep, and you're okay, like really okay. Better than okay. For the first time in years, I'm whole. 8 months after walking away from Marcus, Kioma was at a church conference. During a workshop on purpose and calling, she sat next to a man named David. They struck up a conversation during the break. He was intelligent, kind, intentional. He asked about her relationship with God, her dreams, her passions. He actually listened to her answers. "Would you like to grab coffee after this?" he asked. "I'd love to continue our conversation." "Sure," she said, feeling peaceful, not panicked. At coffee, David was different. He wasn't playing games. He was direct about his intentions. "I'm not interested in wasting anyone's time," he said. "I'm at a place where I'm ready for something real, something God-ordained. I'm not asking you to be my girlfriend today, but I'd like to get to know you intentionally, with prayer and purpose guiding us. Would you be open to that?" Kioma's eyes filled with tears, good tears. "Yes," she said, "I'd like that very much." Over the next months, David proved his words with actions. He introduced her to his family in week 3. He posted her on social media without being asked. He showed up consistently, not just when convenient, but especially when it was inconvenient. He prayed with her not just for her. He asked her father for permission to court her. He talked about their future in concrete terms, not vague possibilities. "Why are you crying?" David asked one evening when she got emotional. "Because I almost settled," she said. "I almost convinced myself that being kept was the same as being chosen. I almost missed you, because I was so afraid of letting go of someone who was never really holding on." David pulled her close. "I thank God you had the courage to walk away, because I've been praying for you long before I met you, and I don't just want to keep you, Kioma. I want to choose you every single day for the rest of my life." A year later, Kioma stood in her wedding dress, looking at herself in the mirror. Her mother stood beside her, crying happy tears. "You look beautiful, my daughter." "Mama," Kioma said, "I need to tell you something. Years ago, I was with someone who never chose me. I stayed because I was afraid no one else would want me. I almost married my fear instead of my faith." Her mother nodded. "I know, baby, I prayed for you. God heard." God didn't just hear, he healed. He showed me that I was never meant to beg for love. I was meant to be celebrated. And today, I'm marrying a man who knows my worth because he sought God before he sought me. As she walked down the aisle toward David, she saw his face, full of love, certainty, and joy. No hesitation, no doubt, pure choice. When they exchanged vows, David said, "Kioma, I don't choose you today because you're perfect. I choose you because God chose us for each other before time began. I promise to choose you every day, in sickness and health, in joy and pain, in seasons of plenty and seasons of lack. You are not my option, you are my covenant." She wept openly, remembering the woman she'd been, the woman who accepted late-night visits and inconsistent love, the woman who thought she had to compete, perform, and prove her worth. That woman was gone. In her place stood a woman who knew she was already chosen by the King of Kings. And because she knew that truth, she refused to settle for anything less than a man who chose her the same way, completely, publicly, permanently. Years later, Kioma mentored young women in her church. One evening, a girl named Blessing came to her crying. "Sister Kioma, I don't know what to do. There's this guy. He says he loves me, but he won't commit. He comes and goes. I'm so tired of waiting, but I'm scared if I leave, I'll lose my chance at love." Kioma took her hands. "Let me tell you a story about a woman who was kept but never chosen." She shared her testimony, the pain, the waiting, the divine interruption, the healing, and the breakthrough. "God didn't bring me a husband until I was whole enough to receive him," Kioma explained, "and he won't settle for you to be someone's option. You are chosen by God. Don't you dare settle for being kept by a man who won't choose you." Blessing wiped her tears. "How do I walk away? I love him." Love yourself more, love God most, and trust that the right man won't make you question whether you're chosen. He'll make it abundantly clear from day one. Scripture references, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession." 1 Peter 2:9. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Jeremiah 29:11. "He who finds a wife finds what is good, and receives favor from the Lord." Proverbs 18:22.